battled away, picked up by Heinsohn, quickly over to Gowdy. Gowdy driving to the right, loses the ball, it's batted around. Picked up by Pettit, quickly goes over to Martin. Martin drives left, Martin lays it up, it's blocked, but Heinsohn knocks it out of bounds. 8 seconds left, the ball goes to Pettit with 32 points. He goes baseline, the shot is no good. It's tapped in by Hagen, and the ball game ends on that note. 96-94, the Hawks win it and send the series back to Boston for game number 7.
The NBA series between the Celtics and the Hawks is the theme of our show on The Way It Was. Hi, I'm Curt Gowdy, your host, and welcome to our series of American sports classics. This week, basketball, and 2 unforgettable series in NBA history. The 57 and 58 championships between the Boston Celtics and the St. Louis Hawks. And to help us relive that memorable series, let's meet the 57 Eastern Division champion, the Boston Celtics. The NBA's Rookie of the Year, an All-American from Holy Cross, number 15, Tommy Heinsohn. Voted an all-time NBA great from the University of Southern California, he played in the backcourt, number 21, Bill Sharman. Leading the Celtics to their first championship playoffs, Hall of Fame coach Arnold Red Auerbach. Those are the Eastern Division champion Boston Celtics. Now let's meet the Western Division challengers, the St. Louis Hawks. Also voted to the all-time NBA team, another Hall of Famer, forward number 9, Bob Pettit. The ex-Celtic playing his first season with the Hawks, Hall of Famer, he was at forward number 20, Easy Ed Macauley. And another great All-American from the University of Kentucky in his first year with the St. Louis Hawks, number 6, Cliff Hagen. Those are the Western Division champs, the St. Louis Hawks. The man who called the play-by-play, the voice of the Boston Celtics, who I think is one of the greatest basketball broadcasters of all time, Johnny Most. Johnny, welcome to The Way It Was.
Curt, thank you very much for letting me be here.
Now let's go back to March 31st, 1957. It's at the Boston Garden, and they're hosting their very first NBA championship series, and now the voice of Johnny Most.
Hi there, basketball fans. It's Johnny Most, high above courtside, and welcome to the 1957 NBA championship series between the St. Louis Hawks and the Boston Celtics from the Boston Garden. Here are the lineups for Boston. Heinsohn and Luskatov at the forwards, Russell at center, Sharman and Gowdy at the guard. And for the Hawks, Macauley and Pettit at the forward, Scher at center, Martin and McMahon at the guard. The score at halftime is St. Louis 49, Boston 47. And as we start the action, it goes in the left corner now, quickly over to Bob Pettit. Pettit holding the ball, quickly underneath on a drive to Doogie Martin, who lays it up and in. All right, Gowdy moving on the right side, comes out to the middle of the court to Sharman behind a pick. The shot is good. Now Macauley up top, on the left to Bob Pettit. The quick pop is no good. The battle for the rebound goes to the Hawks. It goes out on the right now to Martin. One head fake. Down low to Hagen. A reverse layup is up and in. All right, in the third quarter, Gowdy, tricky dribbles in, lays the ball up and misses. The ball batted around, tipped in by Heinsohn. Celtics get to within 5. On the right now, quickly the Hawks come down hard. Jump pass out on the left goes to Macauley, goes into the circle. Back up top, it goes now quickly over to Hagen. Hagen, a pop shot from the left, it's good. All right, the Celtics trying to battle back. And Gowdy, top of the circle now, quickly over to Sharman. Sharman moves left, back over to Gowdy on the left sideline, drives in, goes baseline, comes back out, holds the ball underneath the Heinsohn. The little hook is up and in. Now the Hawks bringing the ball back down on the left over to Bob Pettit. Pettit goes behind the pick, goes up with a shot. The shot is good. All right, at 74-71, Boston after 3 quarters. Now in the fourth quarter, McMahon down low in the Pettit on the cut to Martin. He drives and lays the ball in. All right, Boston coming back. Bill Sharman bringing the ball up the court on the right side. Just over the line now. Moves to the right. Drives. Stops and pops. It'll be St. Louis ball. On the left now quickly it goes. Down low from Coleman. Back to Coleman on a give and go. He drives and lays it in. Sharman bringing the ball up on the right side. Holds the ball. Up high now in the Russell. Double cut, double screen. Gowdy the straightaway pop. Bang! Hard in overtime. Martin has the ball stolen away by Andy Phillip. Phillip coming straight up the middle of the court. Looks around. Takes the pop. It's up and in. All right, the Hawks will have the ball back and then subsequently give it up. Sharman down court to Cousy. Cousy tricky dribbling to the middle. Loses the ball. And it's going to be a breakaway by Jack McMahon, who lays the ball up and in. Bob Cousy putting the ball back into play, but subsequently the Hawks get it back. Martin on the left. Martin drives. Outside on the right is Macauley for a jumper. It's good. With time running out in the overtime, the surprising Hawks are up 2. Cousy on the left behind the back to Sharman. Sharman coming to the circle. Moves around to the right. Goes baseline. Can't do it. Back out to Luskatov. The pop Luskatov is on the board and good. Ties it up. Sends it into second overtime. With 30 seconds left in the second overtime, it's 123-123. Jack McMahon down low to Pettit. Ball batted around. McMahon picks it back up on the right side to Coleman. In the corner, the shot is blocked by Heinsohn. Picked up by Coleman. Off his ear. It's good. And the ball game ends that way. 125-123. The Hawks win the opener in a big upset. It's game number 2 on Sunday afternoon at the Boston Garden. The Celtics are down 1 game to none, and they got to get even today. The Hawks huddle around player coach Alex Hannum. And the action is picked up in the second half with Boston leading 66-45, and St. Louis has the ball. Up the left side they come. Ball down low to Scher. Up top now to Macauley for the pop shot. It's good. Heinsohn on the left over to Cousy. Cruising down the lane. Back to Heinsohn. The left-hand layup is good. The Celtics exploding today with a big lead. Macauley on the right to Parks. The shot is an air ball picked off in there by Cousy. Down court now quickly over to Ramsey. Lays it up. It's no good. Rebound goes to Martin. Martin up the middle of the court. The Hawks trying to come back. Scher back up top now quickly over to Pettit. The pop shot is good. And once again, the Celtics bring the ball down. Sharman up top now quickly goes over to Russell. The fakes. He goes into the lane for the little popper. He's got it. All right, for the Hawks. They valiantly try to come back, but time is not on their side. On the right now, quickly McMahon. Tricky dribbles into the lane. Lays the ball up. It's no good. The battle for the rebound. Won by McMahon. On the layup now. It's up and in by Coleman. And down court come the Celtics. On the left, Cousy. Quickly underneath to Russell. The shot is blocked. Picked up by Luskatov as time runs out. He hits. And the final score is 119-99. The Boston Celtics have tied up the series at 1 game apiece.
In this series preceding the season, Red, one of the most famous trades of all time in the history of pro basketball, you traded Ed Macauley, Cliff Hagen, for Bill Russell. Bill Russell was his draft choice owned by the St. Louis Hawks. Was this a risky trade to you?
It was a kind of a risk. However, we never could get anywhere without the guy to get the ball. Our game is predicated on a fast break. To start your fast break, you've got to get that ball and get it out. So we took the chance. Ed Macauley was a great, great player. Cliff Hagen was a great college player. We had a lot of plans for him. But I think it actually helped both teams. It's the type of trade that really helped both teams because they had the big men to get the ball. They had the centers. But as it turned out, you know, Russell became the greatest, so makes you look good.
So what were your feelings about being traded?
Well, the trade almost wasn't made. I got a call from Walter Brown, and Red knows, and you know Walter Brown sincerely.
Sure.
He called me and told me that the trade was that Red wanted to make the deal. And Walter said, but I don't want to make it. And you may remember this. He said to me on the phone, he said, you were a Celtic, I want you to be a Celtic. And he said, and I, to this day, believe that he was sincere about it. We had a situation in my family where our oldest son had meningitis in Boston that past winter, and it was a cerebral palsy boy, so my wife and I didn't know whether we could even, I would be playing basketball next year. And I said to Walter, I said, you know, it would help me, and it would help me to come back, because that's my home in St. Louis. So I said, you'd be doing me a favor to make the deal.
Bob Pettit, you played with a broken wrist that year, but you finished number 2 in scoring. How'd you break that wrist?
Well, it was a little game with the Celtics in St. Louis. It just turned out I was driving for the basket and was going up for a layup, and inadvertently Mr. Leskatov got under my legs, and I did a flip and landed on my left wrist, and broke my left arm. This was sometime in about February of that year.
But you kept going. Did you play with a cast?
Yes, I did, and in fact, it got to the point I was kind of like Charlie Brown's blanket. I got to the point I loved that cast. And there was a rule in the NBA at that time that you had to put a certain amount of foam rubber around that cast, so I don't know how it happened, but my foam rubber was very thin, and it gave you a little wedge when you were fighting for a rebound under the basket. In fact, I then sawed it to the point that I could get out of it during the day. And game time come, I put it back on and tape it up.
You know, Curt, sitting here in a catbird seat like we are, and looking at Heinsohn, Sharman, Pettit, Macauley, and Hagen, 5 of the greatest shooters of all time. I mean, I want to know, which one of you was the best passer?
How do you spell it, John?
Like the old
I want to tell you, John, I used to at least pass it when I took it out of bounds.
You didn't want to, though, man. They didn't call him the gunner for nothing, though.
Only because you couldn't shoot that far.
Where'd you get that nickname, Easy Ed?
Oh, well, that's another story. I got it when I was in college, and I was a captain of my St. Louis University team.
Yeah, I
was a
broadcast
freshman.
your team.
Yeah, and
Against Oklahoma.
I had to come up, lead the team out on the floor at the gym, at our gym. And there was a door before you go out on the door, and I ran through the door, and I turned around, and nobody had followed me. And I had one job to lead the team out, didn't even do that well. And I'm shooting the basketball, and I turn around, and I'm all alone, and they're playing the national anthem. And everybody's standing at attention, and I'm so nervous I didn't even hear them. And everybody started yelling, "Take it easy, Ed. The game hasn't started. Take it easy." And the publicity man, Warren Becklin, started to use that name in releases, and that's how it... People think I got it because of, you know, graceful. I got it because I was stupid.
I saw you play on that St. Louis team coached by Eddie Hickey. It's still one of the best fast-breaking college teams I ever saw. You fellas really moved that ball like a bubble. All right, Johnny. They split the first 2 games. St. Louis has upset the Celtics at the Boston Garden, the opener. Now, what happened in games 3, 4, and 5?
Well, they seesaw, and the Hawks won game number 3, 106-98 in St. Louis. The Celtics came right back. They had to come right back. And they tied it up 123-118 in St. Louis, and they got the advantage, the odd game advantage back. And then, of course, in game 5, Boston went on to win it 124-109. They took a 3-2 edge in the series going back to St. Louis.
Let's go back now to St. Louis, the Kiel Auditorium for Game 6. And again, the voice of Johnny Most.
It's game number 6 at Kiel Auditorium in St. Louis, and the Celtics lead in games 3-2. At the start of the second half, Boston has a 2-point lead, 51-49. All right, Cousy steals the ball, driving to the right. The dipsy-do is up and in. Now the Hawks with the ball. That's Martin outside. Up top now it goes to Pettit for the jumper. Swish. All right, the score is tied, 92-92. The lead has changed hands 22 times. Now it goes in a rise, and a hook shot is good. And that puts the Celtics ahead 94-92. Time running out, but the Hawks have the ball. The shot is up and in. And it's all tied up, 94-94 on the shot by Ed Macauley. Once again, the Hawks have the ball down low. The ball is batted away, picked up by Heinsohn. Quickly over to Cousy. Cousy driving to the right, loses the ball. It's batted around. Picked up by Pettit. Quickly goes over to Martin. Martin drives left. Martin lays it up and blocked. But Heinsohn knocks it out of bounds. 8 seconds left. The ball goes to Pettit with 32 points. He goes baseline. The shot is no good. It's tapped in by Hagen. And the ball game ends on that note. 96-94. The Hawks win it and send the series back to Boston for game number 7. It's game number 7 at the Boston Garden, and a great series comes down the stretch. Late in the fourth quarter, the ball game is all tied up. Russell drives right to left, lays it in, and breaks the tie. The Celtics go out in front by 2. Down court, the shot is blocked. It's batted around. Cousy picks it up. The Hawks want goaltending. They won't get it. Cousy drives to the right. Comes back out toward the middle. Gets mauled just a little bit by McMahon and Coleman, and Cousy is angry. Now Macauley with the ball. Top of the circle. Down low. It goes into Pettit. He drives. Gets fouled by Russell, and he'll go to the line with a chance to tie up the ball game. Bob Pettit at the line. The first one is good. He's ready. He dips. He shoots. It's around the rim and in. And the ball game is tied up. The Celtics try for one more play. Try to win the ball game right here. Sharman a jump shot. It is no good. And this game is going into overtime. All right, it's 1:13 after one overtime of play. They're going into the second overtime now. And as the Hawks come up the floor, they set up Jack Coleman. Coleman has the set. He takes it. Switch! The Celtics fighting back, maintain a lead. Cousy steps back and pops. He's got it. Once again, the Celtics come down the floor. It goes this time on a drive to Andy Phillip over on the right side. He shoots and hits. Time is running out. The Hawks get back to within 2, but it's not enough, and the Celtics win their first World Championship. And for yours truly, the first one I've ever announced. The Celtics are the world champions in 1957. The final score, 125 to 123.
We want to thank the members of the Boston Celtics, the champs of 57, St. Louis Hawks, who won it in 58, and the exciting play-by-play announcing of Johnny Most. This is Curt Gowdy saying that's the way it was when the Hawks and Celtics battled in 57 for the World Professional Basketball Championship.
We are here again.